Hello and welcome, or welcome back. This is Trucking Answers, and I am Mark, your humble host. Okay, now look, I put out a video about pre-trip, post-trip, and got literally hundreds of comments. And there are a couple of persistent themes in those comments that I want to address here. And we're going to talk about regulations here. That's what we're about. Being in compliance so drivers don't get tickets. I don't want any driver to get any more tickets, put the DOT out of business, and that's because we're going to be in compliance, not because we skate by and they didn't notice something or we're trying to cheat the system. Okay, that's the goal here. Every driver, no tickets. So let's talk about it. 395.2, 396.11, right, on the Green Book. The first problem that people said is, look, you have to log 15 minutes. It's required. A ton of people said the DOT requires 15 minutes for a pre-trip or post-trip. Okay, false. Not true. Not true. And people, if you think it's true, point it out to me in the regulations, okay? Put the regulations down there. There's no time requirement. You're supposed to log it as you do it. We used to do that because the paper log were broken into 15 minutes. Segments, come on, people. It's electronic. There's no set time. Log it as you do it, okay? So, number two thing, and this is the one that people were really mad about. You either don't have to do a pre-trip or you don't have to do a post-trip, depending on who is riding, or you can just flag it or whatever. Okay, what does the DOT say? What does FMCSA say? Do they say you have to do a pre-trip? Are the words pre-trip in there? No. They are not in there. But what does it say? Okay, before you drive, you have to be satisfied, that's the word, that the vehicle and any towed unit is safe for operation. Now, definition of on-duty time. One of the things they list is all time spent inspecting a motor vehicle. So, how can you be satisfied that the vehicle is safe if you haven't inspected it? That's my question. So is that a pre-trip? It doesn't say the word pre-trip. Can you inspect the vehicle while you're walking back from the Loves with a wiener that you bought? Okay? I don't know. Can you do it? Is just eyeball it? Is that, I've been driving since 1946 and I just eyeball it. I know everything. Okay. That's what it says. So how do you inspect it, which is required to be on duty? Inspecting a motor vehicle. How do you inspect it? All right, post-trip. What does it say post-trip? Well, a driver is required to prepare a driver vehicle inspection report at the end of each day. Not at the end of each trip, right? At the end of each day, listing defects that were found, sign it, and turn it into their company, and then the company has to fix it or certify that it doesn't need to be fixed. And don't start typing yet. I know. Now, if there's no problems, you don't have to fill it out, right? They ended that requirement. Got it. But here's the same thing as the pre-trip. Okay, how do you inspect the vehicle to see if there's any problems that you should write down and get fixed if you're not out inspecting the vehicle? Okay, and inspecting time is on-duty time. Okay, so I want to know, how do you inspect it without being on duty? How do you just flag it? You just, again, so we go in and get our afternoon wiener, right, and we eyeball it on the way back. It just doesn't make any sense to me, right? And so, and look, and if 6 minutes, right, is going to ruin your day, especially at the end of the day, it won't make any difference anyway, right? Because you can always be on duty beyond 14 hours, no problem. We're only limited in our drive time. So how is that a problem? And if we're trying to skate a few minutes because we don't have time or whatever, look, skating through, to me, right, it doesn't make any sense. The other thing of it is, don't you want the vehicle to be safe? You know, it's not just you on the road making money. There's everybody else. And plus, what if when you're not on the road, right, in the truck, you're out there, don't you want everybody else to have a safe vehicle? So, talk to me about this, right? I'm sure many of you will. But I want to know, how do you inspect it without being on duty? How does that happen? The pre-trip or post-trip, the words are not listed. But these things are what is listed. And if we're inspecting the vehicle, it has to be on duty time because inspecting a motor vehicle is specifically listed as being on duty, all right? So that's going to be the wrap for the pre-trip, post-trip. I want to know, how do you do it without being on duty? Back soon with more Trucking Answers.